My dear friends, yesterday we have seen, in the last episode, we have seen how the governmental functions are rooted in the Constitution. We have seen Article 52, 53, 73, 74, 75, 77, and also we touched 78, partly, of course, and 309, 310, 311, and 320. Today, we will initiate the Constitution formally. First of all, what is Constitution? Constitution is, broadly speaking, a set of rules, written or unwritten, which seeks to establish the duties, powers, and functions of the various organs of the state, and also to define the duties and responsibilities of the citizens and the interrelationship between the various organs of the state. As you know, we have three sets of organs of the state. One is legislature, and the other is executive, and the third is judiciary. The functions of the legislature is to make law, and the functions of the executive is to execute the law, and the duties of the judiciary is to interpret the law. So, three set of organs of the state endowed with three set of duties. One is not expected to encroach the other's jurisdiction. That is called separation of powers. Separation of powers envisage that each organ of the state confine its duties only within its own jurisdiction. So, each state has three organs. One is to make law, another is to execute the law, and the third to interpret the law. This is the Constitution. Now, there are various types of Constitution. One is written and unwritten. Second classification is rigid and flexible. Third is unitary and federal. Fourth is monarchical and republican. Now, first is written and unwritten. You see, there cannot be a country where the Constitution is totally written or totally unwritten. Immediately, we will say there are countries which have totally unwritten Constitution. Yes, United Kingdom, New Zealand, Israel are the three countries which have no written document of Constitution. Does it mean they are not governed by any set of rules? No. The Reform Act, Magna Carta, 1215 AD, etc. There are many acts, custom, mores, which govern the functions of the United Kingdom. So remember, there cannot be a country which has no written constitution. There may be, of course, all the three countries as mentioned, UK, New Zealand, Israel, they do not have the written document which is called Constitution. But there are many acts which govern the functions of the state. Now, second classification is written constitution. Almost modern constitutions are all written. For example, USA constitution is written constitution. Canada, Australia, India, the constitutions of these countries are written. Written means documented. So one is unwritten constitution and the other is written constitution. Does it mean a constitution which is written has no custom or no convention? There are conventions. For instance, Every constitution which is written has conventions also. Number two. Secondly, there are certain constitutions which are rigid and which are flexible. A flexible constitution envisages that there is no difference between a constitutional amendment and ordinary lawmaking process. In other words, a constitution can be amended as if by adopting the same procedure which is available for changing the ordinary law. That means there is no rigidity in amendment of the constitution, which is called flexible constitution. In the ordinary majority, that is subject to quorum, number of members present divided by 2, that is plus 1, that is called simple majority. So any law can be passed by simple majority. So there is no need for absolute majority for any of the acts to be passed, any of the bills to be passed. This is called flexible constitution. Then what is rigid constitution? Rigid constitution is a constitution which can be amended only by following the procedure which is rigid. For instance, it is special majority, otherwise called 2/3 majority of the members sitting and voting, plus absolute majority, which is called special majority, and also in some cases a ratification by the states, that is called rigid constitution. So remember, number one, written and unwritten. Number two, rigid and flexible. The third is federal constitution and unitary constitution. What is unitary constitution? Unitary constitution, there is only one unit. There is no divisions. The divisions might have been created for administrative convenience, but the powers are not divided. For instance, UK. There is only one. There is only one central unit. The administrative divisions are created only for the convenience of administration. So the powers are not divided. The powers are concentrated at the center. That is called a unitary type of constitution. Then what is federal constitution? In the federal constitution, there are two units. One is units, that is the states, and the other is federation, that is the center. The powers are divided between the center, that is the federation, and the units. The powers, these powers are called division of powers. Remember, don't confuse with the separation of powers. In the separation of powers, the powers are separated: executive powers, legislative powers, and judicial powers. Judiciary is not expected to encroach upon the powers of the executive, nor the executive is expected to occupy or usurp the powers of the legislature. So here the powers are totally divided, which is called separation of powers. On the other hand, the powers are divided between the central government and the units, that is the federating units. This is called division of powers. So these powers are, that is, the powers are divided. That is, one is, I told you, written and unwritten, rigid and flexible. Third is unitary and federal. Now remember, in the federation, there are two types of federation. I will give an example. Let us say, God forbid, there is a riot in your town. Now you are put up in a residential colony where almost all are government servants. So the welfare association says that riots are continuing for 3 or 4 or 5 days. So residential association office bearers meet you, all the residents of the colony, and say, you should not leave your house after 6 o'clock. No person, none of your relatives should be allowed to come inside. So there is a self-imposed restrictions given by the residential association. Remember, your right to move out of the country, to move out of the house or to move out of the colony are surrendered to the residential association. Remember, so in this form of federation, you surrender a limited number of rights to the federation. Whatever rights you have not surrendered are lying with you. Remember, all the rights are lying with you. Of these certain rights, you surrender a portion of their rights for protecting the common interest. So here you are donating, your rights are voluntary. And whatever you have donated, the rest of the rights are remaining with you. This is one type of federation. And the other is, remember in this case, in the first case, these federation units are independent. Independent. Before you surrender, all the units are independent. Now another kind is, you are not independent. You are not independent. All were under the subjugation of certain third country. Now when you get independent, all the federating units are amalgamated and the powers are redivided between the center and the states. That is the second type of federation. The first type of federation is USA and second type of federation is India. Here the first type of federation, each state has an independent status. They have an independent constitution. They have joined together to create a federation to protect the common interest. On the other hand, in the case of Indian Federation, they were not independent. The states were not independent. They were amalgamated together and the powers were divided between the central and the states. This is the second type of federation. Now, the fourth one is republican and monarchical. Monarchical means the powers are inherited. Britain. So the Japan, the powers are inherited from king, his son, his daughter, and something like that. It is inherited. On the other hand, this is monarchical. On the other hand, republican. We follow the republican form of government. Republican in the sense, our president of India is an elected president. Any person can become the president of India. In fact, our president of India is more representative than the prime minister even. Prime minister, technically, he is only a representative, direct representative of a constituency. And he is the representative of the representatives. On the other hand, the president of India is more representative than even prime minister in the sense, the president of India is elected by an electoral college consisting of elected members of both the houses of parliament and elected members of all the state assemblies of all states, including Delhi and Pondicherry. Such a widespread representation is not envisaged for the prime minister. He is only a representative of representatives. So remember, so first four types of constitution I told you. One is written and unwritten. Second is unitary, rigid and flexible, unitary and federal, and fourth is republican and monarchical. So these are all the four types of constitution. This is the second part of the constitutional lecture.